As an adult, don't we all miss spring break? Nothing like taking a week off from all your responsibilities. Well, here's the next best thing for adults, a spring break from house payments. SaveWithConrad.com can help you get rid of all your credit card debt, just like that. We're routinely helping our listeners save $5, $6, $7, even $800 a month. And you don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket to do this, but check this out, no house payments for 2 months at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. SaveWithConrad.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and we are live, and we are so thankful that you're with us for another edition of What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, Conrad. Hey, Dave Silva. Hey, everyone. It's good to be with you once again, and good to be back with you since we did a best of last week when I was in California most of the week, the entire week. So it's great to be back talking to you guys again. And I'm pretty excited about watching some old WWF stuff.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, this past Sunday was 316. And every wrestling fan knows what that means. Time to stun grandma and chug some beers. So we hope you did that. And in honor of that, we thought we'd watch a Monday Night Raw from March 16th, 1997. 316 from, golly, how's this possible? 28 years ago, Tony.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It sounds like that shouldn't be true, that 97 was 28 years ago.
Yeah. And when I think about the 80s, it shouldn't be, when I'm thinking about the fans of the 80s music like me, they're all old fuckers now. And
Yes.
And 80s music doesn't seem like it was that long ago, much less 90s music, right? So, yeah, time flies. The older you get, there, bud. And as the old cliche goes, time flies when you're having fun, and we have fun each and every week on this podcast.
Yeah, we do. We're going to have some fun today. We want you to join us. If you haven't already, pull your Peacock out, your big old Peacock. Flip it over to WWE old school section, because that's what we like, old school Peacock. We want you to go to season 23, episode 1. How about that? Season 23, episode 1. And this is Madison Square Garden show. So what's going to be fun about these are, I guess I misspoke, it's not technically a Monday Night Raw, but this is even better because you remember these old MSG specials from back in the day. Like,
These were
some of your fondest memories, or the day you did a double shot here in the Boston Gardens, right?
That's right. My first MSG show, I worked with Lord Alfred Hayes, and it was, I know I beat this dead horse, but it was Hogan and Bossman in a cage, my first time. And it's to be a guy that had come from Jim Crockett Promotions, where it was very, very small in many, many ways, and going to this big time promotion that worked Madison Square Garden. It was a wonderful time for me. Have you heard that they are going to rebuild Madison Square Garden?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm aware of this.
Tough. I guess time moves on.
Yeah. I mean, it's happened before, though. I mean, this isn't the first time something like that's been done.
Right. So it's just one of those things, it's one of those things like the Oakland A's moving out of Oakland. And
yes,
we were there, the first of the month doing a collision in Oakland, the arena, which is right next to the Coliseum. And that whole area just gone to shit. I mean, I could have walked into the stadium because the stadium's like wide open, and I didn't. But that, and the Washington Redskins being no more, and the Oakland Athletics, my team when I was growing up, leaving. So it's
different.
It's different. It's just time moves on. And it's like you were saying earlier, 28 years ago, which doesn't seem like that at all. So, yep, getting old. Gotta deal with it. Hey, I want to make an announcement here. If I
could. Hell
yeah,
we love that.
Okay, I've decided that I think that I think it's time that I come back here maybe on a monthly basis, even a weekly basis, and do a Zoom call with anybody that wants to be with us.
Hell yeah.
I think it's time to do that again. I stopped doing it once we started doing a Saturday show.
Right.
But I think it's about time to do it again. So be watching the Facebook page. We can watch that too, but be watching this Patreon page, and we'll do it.
Yeah, go check it out right now. It's patreon.com/WHW Monday. You don't want to miss Tony Schiavone the next time we're doing a little bonus action. But without further ado, let's get going on some old school. It's a house show from 1997, just right before we had the big Monday night extravaganza that leads to WrestleMania 13. This is actually the WrestleMania that WCW beat, Tony. I don't know if you remember that, but Uncensored 97, which featured a Dennis Rodman appearance, actually sold more pay-per-views that same month than WrestleMania. How about that?
Well, that's another amazing thing. Jeez.
I mean, the idea that Uncensored sells more than WrestleMania, nobody would have believed that.
No.
But it happened. And we want to watch this show and get you ready for that iconic WrestleMania. Of course, it had, in my opinion, the greatest match in the history of WrestleMania. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret the Hitman Hart. Maybe the most famous double turn ever, too. But let's watch this, man. This is a soft spot for Tony. I'm looking forward to it. It's March 16th, 1997 on Peacock. They call it WWE Old School, Season 23, Episode 1. You have a special countdown today, Tony, or are you going to kick it old school?
I'm going to kick it old school. Here we go. Get your pointer ready. Get your mouse a moving. In 3, 2, 1, play. And I'm getting the spinning wheel of death.
Uh-oh. Well, I've got the old school open here. Not the old school open of the show. I'm just saying the network version.
Yeah.
So we see some different highlights from Madison Square Garden. I mean, when you think about most famous arenas in wrestling history, Madison Square Garden's got to be near the top, right?
I think it is at the top.
What else would you put in the conversation?
What is, as far as wrestling venues are concerned?
Yeah.
Well, the Omni in Atlanta.
Okay.
Boston Garden.
Right.
Would be another one. LA Sports Arena.
These are great.
Cow Palace. Thank you, Darren Staley, for saying the Greensboro Coliseum, but obviously that would be it too. And even the Charlotte Coliseum. So,
what about the former Allstate Arena, right there, in the former Rosemont Horizon?
Yeah, that was the big one in Chicago. There's no question about that.
And how about these old school graphics? I don't know why, but these just hit me in my feels.
Yeah,
gonna see Ahmed Savio. We've got Triple H and a very young Rocky Maivia looking like a damn doofus for the Intercontinental title. We got Furnace and LaFawn taking on the British Bulldog and Owen Hart for the tag straps.
Yeah.
Man, I love this old school look. Just the light over the ring. I don't know why, man. This brings me back to my childhood.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to have to get you to give me a time code where you are here.
Sure. I'm watching Bob Backlund come to the ring here at 140, 141, 142, 143, 144, 145.
Okay.
Looks like, I guess, the Sultan is there because I know for sure that's the Iron Sheik coming to the ring. And these Middle Eastern gimmicks, they've been around wrestling forever.
I love the Middle Eastern gimmicks.
Why don't you think we see more of that today? Just political sensitivities?
Yep.
Because once upon a time, this was not uncommon at all. This was actually quite common.
Well, I mean, come on, Conrad. Those guys were our enemies back then, right? In a way. Kuwait and all that stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, you need to help me out with times again. Jesus Christ. Sure.
We're watching Jim Cornette talk to JR. We've got a little camera at the desk, which is cool. Oh, the pyro went off and scared the shit out of Jimmy. At 238, 239, 240, 241, 242, 243, 244, 245.
I'm close enough.
So coming up after this first match here, I guess we should mention the first match is the Sultan with the Iron Sheik and Bob Backlund in his corner. And he's going to be wrestling Flash Funk, who we know is Too Cold Scorpio.
Right.
And he's got the Funkettes with him.
Of course he does.
Who's your favorite Funkette?
Funkette C.
Yeah, she was a good one. Mm-hmm. Had a hell of a run at Chili's before she made it to the big time.
I know. Last time I saw her, I said, "See you next Tuesday, girl."
Wow, that's aggressive. That's aggressive. Man, this is pretty good quality video here too, is it not?
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked that they have this level of quality in 1997. They've clearly done some sort of upscaling or something. It looks nice.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of nice things, we should talk about you had a big weekend. I think you kind of buried the lead. Is it true that you met the band Chicago?
Sure did. Um, I've got to say, I got to give a big shout out to Megan Nelson, longtime supporter of ours and
Hell yeah,
good
the best.
friend. She is, just tell you the story as Funk comes to the ring. Before I was leaving for California, she sent me texts because she's in the Chicago fan club, and she's like one of the top members or something or organizers. And she said, "Hey, I'm in Las Vegas watching Chicago." And I went, "They're in Las Vegas?" She said, "Yeah, they're having a residency at the Venetian."
Oh
Well,
wow,
so I was going to be in Las Vegas on Thursday, right? And so I quickly looked on Ticketmaster, and there was one ticket right dead center, 3 rows back. I,
wow,
I bought it, and I gave her. I told her. I said, I sent her a text. I said, "I'm going on Friday because I'm going to be in Vegas." I said, "I've got my ticket." I showed her where I was sitting and everything. She texted me back. She actually called me. She said, "I've got you a backstage pass."
oh wow,
Yeah, and I've got you a meet and greet. So I got there early. They had my pass for me, and I took the picture, which was put up on social media with the band, and then watched the concert. Went in the backstage area, and not many of the guys appear. There's the picture of me. Now to my left is Robert Lamb, one of the founding members, and to my right is James Pankow, one of the founding members. He's the trombonist. And over my left shoulder, between me and Robert Lamb, is Lee Laughlin, who is the trumpeter. All the other guys are new members. Those three are the founding members that are still with the band. The guy all the way to the left is Wally Reyes, who's the drummer, who got me backstage, got me all my stuff, and just a great guy. He's been with them since like 2012, and so I got to meet the guitarist Tony, and we talked a lot about playing the guitar, and the final song was 25 or 6 to 4, which is pretty predictable. And he was talking about, having to play like a 2-hour set and his fingers being raw. And now he's got to play the song 25 or 6 to 4 and how tough that was. But it's a bucket list thing. I mean, it really, really is because as I put on as Laurie, my daughter, put on the social media post, that was my first album, 1971.
wow.
Chicago at Carnegie Hall, and I've loved them ever since then. And I've followed them, and I've got on the wall here. It's there somewhere. Danny Seraphin, who's the original drummer, he's no longer with the band, had signed a drum head and drumsticks for me, and I put it in a big frame because he's like one of my favorite drummers of all time. So it's it's great. Darren Staley said the Cetera era. Pete Cetera was their lead singer. It's also the best era, and I agree with that. Pete Cetera, though, for some reason, they apparently had a big falling out because when they inducted Chicago into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Pete Cetera didn't show up. Everybody else showed up, except of course Terry Kath, who's dead. But Pete Cetera didn't show up, and he was like their top lead singer for forever. But um, it
What
was
happened?
what happened?
Yeah,
I
or did
don't
he
know.
show up?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I didn't show up, motherfucker. Um,
He Schiavone it is what you're saying.
well, yeah, probably. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I showed up for the Hall of Fame. You didn't that weekend, if I recall.
No, I showed up for my Hall of Fame,
Well, you
just
didn't
like
show
you
up.
showed up for yours.
You didn't show up for mine, though.
I showed up at the same amount of time that you showed up at mine.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
There you go.
I mean, I went to your daughter's wedding. You didn't
That's
even come to mine.
that's nice. So it was a great night.
Yep,
And
yep. I love their hit Funky Cole Medina. I was a big fan of their number one with a bullet. It
yeah,
wasn't me. I
yeah,
thought they did a nice job with Wild Thing.
yeah. See, you should not trash the good name of Chicago. Let me be frank, you motherfucker.
No, I love the Bears. I love the Bulls. I'm a big fan of Chicago. Frank
Yeah,
Thomas was my favorite ball player from
right,
Alabama for
right,
years.
right.
Big fan of Chicago. Shout out to CM Punk.
Wow.
No, I just love Chicago. What can I
Okay.
say?
Okay.
Just like I love Magic Spoon. You know, as a kid, I love sitting down with a big bowl of cereal. And then I realized as I get older, hey, I don't need all this sugar. I need some protein. Of course, by now you already know that Magic Spoon makes high protein, zero sugar cereal and treats, all reinvented from your childhood. You can actually taste the nostalgia. I absolutely love the high protein treats from Magic Spoon. You've heard me brag about them. They're crispy, they're crunchy, they're airy, and they're an easy way to get 12 grams of protein on the go. They come in great flavors like marshmallow, just like mom made, chocolate, peanut butter, dark chocolate, but my favorite is double chocolate. But check this out. Now Magic Spoon's brand new granola packs in 13 grams of protein and zero added sugars. And they come in delicious flavors like dark chocolate almond, honey almond, and peanut butter. So get $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/WHW or look for Magic Spoon on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/WHW for $5 off. We're watching a pretty fun match here. You know, this is the future Rikishi, who we know is a Hall of Famer,
Uh-huh.
against Flash Funk, who we know is a an absolute megastar. You know, Too Cold Scorpio, dude. You talk about a guy who was ahead of his time.
My God. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, he was even ahead of the cruiserweight era.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah,
And he was a big dude doing all that stuff off the
that's right.
top rope with that
Right.
flip and the leg drop. I
Right.
mean, he had to be what, 250, 260?
Oh, I think 245, 250, probably
Yeah.
about right.
He's
Yeah.
a heavy boy, dude.
Yeah. But could get around.
No doubt.
Yeah. And as you might imagine, in an MSG show, they put some time in every match.
Yeah. They actually
Yeah.
get a fairly decent amount of time in this
Yeah.
one.
I like this broadcast team of JR and Jim Cornette.
It's funny, you know, they only go 742, but 742 compared to a television match, you know, that would be a long television match.
Hmm.
Do you think that that's a problem? Do you think television matches are too short?
No. If you got a good story to tell and you've got a good show with some pretty good interviews and pretty good packages, no, I don't think so. Not at all. Uh, we have a lot of the fans who have joined us giving us they're still in the Chicago mode, giving us their favorite Chicago
Oh,
song.
there you go.
Yeah.
Of course, Tony, we're actually talking on St. Patrick's Day today.
Yeah.
What's your favorite St. Patrick's Day story? You ever go drinking with the horsemen or something like
Yeah.
that for St. Patty's Day?
I think my favorite St. Patrick's Day story is that I listen to a lot of Sirius XM.
Right?
I listen to 80s on 8. Lois listens to 60s Gold, and I listen to 70s on 7. Um, that's all they talked about all day today. That's all they talked about. Every DJ talking about this St. Patrick's Day. How about your St. Patrick's? How about your favorite groups from Ireland? Dropkick Murphys, blah blah blah. To the point to where I said, you know what? Talk about something fucking else.
Wow. So you got heat with St. Patrick's Day.
No, I got heat with the DJs on
Hey, Tony,
Sirius.
you pay for that. You could just not listen to it.
I know I could, but I like the music.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You'd think if you were such a big fan, you'd have some Chicago songs on your phone, but what the fuck do I know?
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got every Chicago album on my phone.
Might have listened to those instead of bitching, but that's
No,
just me.
no, yeah, no, I like to bitch, you know.
Oh gosh, I know something you weren't bitching about. The rumor and innuendo is that you went to the Magic Castle. You got to tell me this story.
Yeah, went with obviously my close associate Nigel McGuinness, his girlfriend, his mom, and then of course I met up with the great Mauro Ranallo, who was there, and we
Oh,
hit,
how about that?
yeah, and we had a wonderful time. We did had a wonderful time, and Morrow is such a good guy. He is such a nice person, and we saw various magic shows, and uh, I've never been overly a gigantic Magic fan. I don't know how you feel about Magic.
I love Magic Spoon. I'll tell you that right
Yeah,
now,
I
boy.
know. I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, you fucking
Yes.
dumbass. So anyway,
Okay.
uh, so I've never been an overly big fan, but I enjoy it. But I'm not one of those Magic type guys who just go see
You
Magic.
don't jack off to it. I got you.
Well, here's the deal. I think when the Black Scorpion turned into a tiger,
Yeah, that was the end
that
of
was
you with
that was
Magic.
the end of me and Magic. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Where
Magic.
you at on Magic Johnson?
Well, of course, he's back in the '80s when the NBA was great, so I'm for it.
What about Magic Shell on your ice cream?
Magic Shell,
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
What about the Orlando Magic?
loved him when Shaq played for him.
What about the Magic City?
The Magic City,
Yeah.
which is the Magic City? What's
It's Birmingham, and it's like magic. If you drive your car downtown and leave it unlocked, magically it won't be there when you return.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the
Well,
Magic City of Birmingham.
yeah, I try never to stop in Birmingham. I try to just drive through.
Yeah, I don't even want to get gas in Birmingham.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
But
By the
anyway,
way, how badass is what we're watching right now? This is, I don't know that you ever saw them. This is Barry Windham and John Bradshaw Layfield back when he was Justin Hawk Bradshaw. So that's JBL
yeah.
dressed up like a blackjack, tagging with Barry Windham dressed up like his dad,
Wow.
taking on the former Tex Slazenger and Shanghai Pierce from WCW, known here as the Gauntlets. That's four big badass dudes.
Yeah, man. I never knew that Barry dressed up like his dad.
Isn't that great?
That didn't last long, did look at him.
No, but it
The
looked
black
awesome.
he's got the black mustache and everything.
The black glove, the black mustache, dyed his hair black.
Wow.
I mean, they wore hats to the ring, the whole thing.
I never knew that. What do they call themselves? The Blackjacks?
The new
The
Blackjacks.
new Blackjacks. Yeah, I'm
But I mean,
sure.
I love like even the boots, like the Austin Hall,
Yes.
like black and white boots. This is my favorite look for a wrestler. Like I created them in video games in like 97, 98 because I just thought, man, what a cool tag team. I was convinced in an alternate universe, like think about what a badass tag team that would have been against like the Andersons or the
Mm.
Russians, or
Oh, wow.
that would have been awesome back then.
Yeah. And I'm sure Lanza, Blackjack Lanza was one of the agents around that time. And
Absolutely. They got his permission and the whole deal.
yeah, that's great. God, how did I miss? Well,
It was 97, man. You guys were absolutely destroying ass.
yeah, it
Just
didn't
walking
last.
around destroying ass.
It didn't last long though, did it? I mean,
No, it never does. I mean, that's the thing. Like you think about Stone Cold was the biggest star in the business forever. Well, was he really? I mean, his run was kind of short. Even Hogan's run, like when you really think about it, I know he won the belt in 84, but by 93, he's gone. So it's just 9 years. So it would be like if somebody started their run on top in 2016 and it ends now. Like in the scheme of things, that's not that crazy.
yeah,
Especially when you look at like the longevity of some of the acts. Like you telling me in 3 years, Kenny Omega's still not going to be one of the top wrestlers in the world? Of course he is.
yeah.
I guess
Well,
that just shows you how much things have changed over time, you know?
yeah, I know. But Kenny Omega's bounced back nicely.
God, dude. I mean, he looks better than ever.
He does. He does. And they're legitimately there was thought that he never would return.
And now look at him.
Right.
We should mention he won the international title over Takeshita.
Mm-hmm.
And there's lots of speculation that they've got big plans for him at All In. I, for one, can't wait to see it. We also know that Swerve is going to be challenging for the AEW World Championship at Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Kyle Fletcher win over Will Ospreay. We saw
Well,
Tony Storm and Mariah May. My God, is that not one of the craziest things that's ever happened on pay-per-view, Tony?
it's just I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Tony Storm is my favorite female wrestler of all time.
Wow. I mean, it's hard to argue. What a year she's had. What a couple years she's had.
And Mariah May is close second, but because it's been such a great story, it's been a wonderful story. But Tony Storm's character,
Yeah.
my God, just just absolutely wonderful. And the lines, and and congratulations to RJ City too. I was checking on my dogs there. To RJ City too, for he's been one of the driving forces behind that whole storyline.
Shout out to production. That shot of
Production.
him from overhead where it said "the end" on the screens.
Hmm.
I even saw a promo this past week where it showed. I think it was a Collision promo, but it showed Tony Storm when she was rocker Tony Storm in full color,
Hmm.
taking her T-shirt off to reveal
Hmm.
timeless Tony Storm underneath, and she turned black and white. And I was like, dude,
That's good.
shout out to Mike Mansory or whoever else is involved on the team because that
Yeah,
stuff looked awesome.
yeah. Phil Ada and the guys in Nashville working on that.
There you go. Shout out to those dudes. They never
Yeah,
get a shout out. Let's love on them.
absolutely. We got some good guys there. Jim Morris, uh, Eric Murphy.
Hey, if there was an unsung hero award for AEW, who would be on the Mount Rushmore of unsung heroes of AEW, in your opinion?
Uh,
Let's just give some love to 4 people that we don't normally hear from. So don't hit me with a Tony or something like that.
okay. Wow, that's tough. Because it'd be tough to leave people out.
Yeah,
That'll
it's better just to not acknowledge anybody at all. You're right.
No, you're right. I mean,
I'm just trying to be nice. Let's love on somebody who doesn't normally get a shout out to the
okay,
public.
okay. Daryl Marshall
Okay.
in production.
Tell us what he does.
He's like the tape producer. He's in
Okay.
charge of all the replays you see and everything.
I got you.
And of course he has a whole staff with him back there, but he's kind of in charge back there in tape. Uh, let's see, Topher Dispenza.
Okay.
Topher is kind of the backstage producer about when he's in charge of any rehearsals that we do. Uh, entrances and everything. He's a young kid that's really taken the bull by the horns, so to speak. RJ City,
No doubt.
yeah. Jen Pepperman.
Okay.
Let's see who else I can name. Um, I know I'm gonna. Gee, I missed somebody. Obviously, Mike Mansouri.
Yeah.
Um,
Who's like one of your favorite cameramen?
uh, well, there's Chris and Mark and Jamie and another Chris and uh, Jamie, who's been seeing one of our favorite girls from that I'll miss her. I'll mess her name up. So,
Let's love on somebody in travel.
oh my God, Bryce Remsburg.
Yep.
Yep. Emily Pierce, and one of the most knowledgeable travel people that I've ever been around in my life
Yes, sir.
is Scott Hyatt.
I've had some good recommendations through the years.
Yeah.
Shout out to
He's
Scott. I'm really
he's
happy that there's such a great team. It is a
yeah,
really great bunch of hardworking people. And I know, listen, there's always negativity online, but in real life, it's such a positive atmosphere.
yeah. Scott knows his shit, man. I mean,
Yeah, he
knows his
does.
shit. And here's how I knew he knew his shit, because he picked me up at the Luxor, and drove me over to the event. And I remember thinking that, there's 2 entrances to the Luxor. I wonder which one he's going to come to. And before I could even text him, he said, which entrance of the Luxor should I go to? And I'm thinking, he knows I got 2 entrances. How about that? That's being on top of your game. But yeah.
Speaking on top of your game, I think the new Blackjacks are on top of their game here, picking up a win. I think that was I can't tell. Is that
Mhm.
Barry?
Yeah, I think so. Because Jerry,
Yeah, it is.
because he's just peeling.
Man, he looks just like his dad, doesn't he?
It's amazing. Give me a time where you are.
Sure. I'm at 23, 20, 21,
Okay,
22, 23.
very good.
Darren Staley's with us, and he says, "Is that the pyramid one?" Yes, it is. We're talking about the Luxor. It is indeed the pyramid one.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of the pyramids, we could go back to the pyramids, and that's how long it feels like we've all been asking, will they ever put Lex Luger in the Hall of Fame? And now we know the answer. Lex Luger has been announced as taking his rightful place in the WWE Hall of Fame. Long overdue. Couldn't happen to a better guy. We
I
got to
agree.
put DDP in again. What a
Mhm.
great story Lex Luger is. What a great human being. So happy for him. And I love that he's going into the WWE Hall of Fame on Easter weekend, Tony. How great is that?
Tremendous. Good for Lex. He was it's kind of like the WWE Hall of Fame is kind of like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in that there's a lot of people that should have been in there earlier that got into there later. And like, for instance, one of my favorite bands of all time, Kiss, they didn't get in for a long, 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 long time. And neither did the Cars, neither did Chicago, really. Some of my favorite bands. And that's the same thing with Lex. Lex probably should have been in a lot sooner, I would think.
I'm glad he's in now.
Yeah, I'm glad he's in now. And of course, that's the way those Hall of Fames are, right? I mean, it's everybody says, well, they should have been in sooner. But I'm glad he's in. Yeah. Darren Staley says, when will Corny get in as Jim Cornette? Why isn't he in there now? I think that's silly. He should be in there. So,
He'll be in there.
yeah.
They're going to
Yeah.
make it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, they let him on the stage to induct the rock and rolls. It's going to happen.
Sure.
I think, if I'm honest with you, it
Mhm.
makes sense to do it next year in New Orleans more so than this year in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, think about all the history of Jim Cornette
Mhm.
for Bill Watts.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got a fun promo here, an in-ring for Bret Hart. This is right before the double turn. We've got Michael Hayes here, or I'm sorry, Doc Hendricks here. What do you think Michael Hayes is saying here to Bret?
Hey, Bret, you got a couple of doobies I can smoke after we finish right now. I don't know if they grow them in Canada like they do down in Atlanta. But you got any? I'm the best there was, the best there is, the best there ever will be. That's all I got to say about that. Yeah, pot smoking Doc Hendricks gimmick thing. You, hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I was just asking a friend if you have something, I could take a do. How about a beer? You got a beer right now? Hey, how about a shot of Jack Daniels? I'm the best there was, the best there is, the best there ever will be. And stunning Steve Austin or whatever he called himself, a Hollywood blonde or whatever, can kiss my ass even on a video game. That's right. Because I'm from Calgary. That's right. I'm the best there was, the best there is, the
Oh my
best there.
God,
That's all. Hey,
I love that you just.
that's all.
It took me a minute, but Lord, the third time you went back, it was like, remember when we had Casio? What town was it? In St. Louis? That's what it was. How fun was that? Casio.
Casio in St. Louis is one of the great. If we would have had a video camera,
Well, I'd have been, we'd all been in trouble for what was happening in public,
yeah,
but it was fun.
yeah, and the people at the restaurant were very, very kind to us.
Yeah, it's amazing how far $100 will go in St. Louis.
They should have thrown us out on their head.
Dude, it would have been so much
Look at
cheaper.
that. There's a heart. Follow your heart. Thank you. Do you know I'm the best there was?
Oh God. Oh my God. Hey, let me ask you this.
How about let me say this. You know what I think about when I think about one of the things I think about when I think about Bret?
What do you think about when you think about Bret?
Okay, Starcast in that you had in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
You
the second
remember?
one. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and Bret comes in. I don't know. He does a sit down. I don't know who he does it with. Right?
Yep.
He shit on everybody.
Yes.
Everybody. And I kept listening, saying he's going to say something good about somebody's. Nope.
No.
He shit on everybody. It popped me so.
By the way, I know you're not going to believe it, but the guy right there with the yellow jock strap on his head,
Yeah.
that is just incredible from ECW
Oh, God bless Justin.
before he became Justin. And this right here, that is Bill Dundee's kid in the
Yeah.
front.
Yeah, I know that.
All right, so there you go.
Oh, and we've
Terrence
got
Mason, Savio Vega, Crush, and a very young D'Lo Brown. Like
wow.
D'Lo at this point has been with the company 4 months.
hmm
He's
Um,
right out of Smoky Mountain with your
yeah.
boy
I met D'Lo at a when Tony Khan and I went to
TNA,
TNA. He is so cool, man.
the nicest guy ever.
Yes, he is so cool.
Maybe too nice for wrestling. I don't know if you saw, but we recently interviewed him with adfreeshows.com. And man, he got emotional when we talked about it because I pointed out, and it's hard to even say this considering, everything that happened. And I'm certainly not trying to be insensitive, but anytime anyone talks about his accident with Draws, everyone winds up talking about how bad they feel for Draws. And no
Right.
doubt he paid the price, man. What a tragedy. And it's very unfortunate that we lost him at such a young age. I mean, just nothing good there. However, I can't imagine just the mental anguish that D'Lo has went through for all these years.
Yeah.
I mean, it forever changed his career, but second to that, it's just got to be something that he was always thinking about.
Of course.
And you and I have both known physical pain, but we've known the mental anguish too. And man, when you can't get out of your own head, that's tough. And
Yeah.
my heart goes out to D'Lo.
Yeah. I agree. I agree 100%. You're just a great kid who's going to live with that forever.
Well,
Absolutely.
he said in our interview, Tony, that if he is ever lucky enough or fortunate enough to be invited to join the WWE Hall of Fame, he's going to stipulate that he go in with Draws,
Mm,
which I thought was just, man, what a dude.
yeah.
Shout out to D'Lo.
Yeah. He's one of those guys too. When you first meet him, it's like you've known him all your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just a great guy. And you know what? I had asked D'Lo when I seen him, when I saw him, I said, what do you think about Bret Hart? And he said, well, he's the best there was, the best there is, and the best there ever will be. That's what D'Lo said to me.
Well, he knows him well.
Yeah.
And if you know us well, it's only so long into the show we're legally obligated to talk to you about how hard we can get our cocks. Thanks to Blue Chew.
Mhm,
Tony's getting his ding dong harder than ever,
mhm.
and it's all because of Blue Chew. They're the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. And starting now, Blue Chew has a combo so strong it'll knock your socks off.
Okay. Can
And
I ask? Can I ask something? And can I interrupt here?
please do tell us all
Okay.
about your hard ding dong.
Now, now. I want to go back to this because I love the people of Blue Chew. Yes. Go back to the graphic. Does that look like? See the hand holding the black pouch of Blue Chew?
Yeah.
Does that look like it's a hand coming out of an asshole to you?
I've never seen a hand come out of an asshole.
I haven't either, but that's the closest you're going to find it. And the girl on the right with her finger in her mouth looks like she's enjoying a pile of Blue Chew, as you can see right below her. But it doesn't take a pile of Blue Chew, does it, to get you turgent? Go ahead, Conrad.
No. Tell us how hard you can make it. Like how
Yeah,
stiff can
yeah,
you get?
like a cat, like a you know, so like a cat couldn't scratch it or whatever.
What you're fucking pets now? What are you
Yeah,
doing?
no, it's like
Blue
you
Chew
know.
won't make you do that, boys
Okay,
and girls. I don't know what Tony's talking
okay.
about.
So when you
What happens?
do it, when yours gets hard, does it have a curve in it? When you
No,
take Blue Chew,
straight as an
right
arrow.
there. Okay, it doesn't go.
No, and yours isn't long enough to have a curve. Tell the truth.
Okay. Yeah.
And you never seen a curved nub. Hard to curve a nub. Damn
Well,
near.
when you got Blue Chew in you, you're proud of that nub.
Well, that nub will get a little bigger
Yep.
thanks to the new Blue Chew Max. It's
There you go.
arrived. It's here, and it combines the active ingredients of Viagra and Cialis into one chewable. This combo acts and lasts. How about this, guys? You can now be ready whenever she needs it. So go get your first month of Blue Chew free.
Yeah.
You see, great sex is just a few clicks away. You
Mhm.
sign up at bluechew.com. You consult with one of their licensed medical providers. And once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew's tablets are made right here in the USA, and they're designed, prepared, and shipped directly to your door to make your cock bigger and harder than ever. And the best part is it's all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversation, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. But it's going to make your gimmick look like Pinocchio, and that's no lie. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. We've got a special deal for our listeners where you can try Blue Chew for free. That's right, your first month of Blue Chew free when you use our promo code WHW. Just pay the $5 shipping. That's promo code WHW. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring today's podcast. Tony, is that the best deal you've ever known of? Like just rock hard cock for a $5 bill?
It's unbelievable. There's nothing like it.
What is hard dick going for in Craigsville, Virginia these days? Do you know? What's the going rate on hard dick?
In Craigsville?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to call some of my friends and find out.
Yeah. I bet Silva knows what it is at the border.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you saw, but someone put out a pretty badass video that I think you would consider yourself an animal lover, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think you're going to dig this.
I better.
We've got something where if Dusty Rhodes were to be reincarnated, well, let's take a look.
He's just a common man, working hard with his.
That was a kangaroo winding up for the bionic elbow. How great is that?
That's tremendous. I thought you were going to show Jeff Jones's new dog. Have you seen?
I do love the Bull of the Woods. Yes,
yeah, that's right.
I love the Bull of the Woods. I'm glad that Jeff Jones has a dog too. It kind of fits him.
Yeah, I am too. And he'll put sunglasses on. He would take a picture.
I've seen it. I love it.
That dog just as cool in sunglasses. Like, yeah, those sunglasses belong on my head.
Well, Tony, every week we have a little fun and we play some stupid songs. And I figure during this Savio Vega promo here, as we see Ahmed Johnson dropping a deuce on the top rope, we could just go ahead and play a little goofy song right now. Take a listen, Tony. Let's see what you think.
Please don't suck it. Please don't suck it. Please don't suck it. I'm begging you, please. Not to suck it.
That's right out of the Mormon church there, isn't it? It looks like.
I think that would be a big hit if you guys were to like play that in Gorilla before people went through the curtain in AEW. Please don't suck it.
Yeah, it'd be great.
All right, I can see you didn't love that one. Let's see if you like this one.
Used to press your pussy up against my mouth. Now you've had a couple kids and it's all stretched out. Starting to think we could figure it out. Summers in Kentucky wanna be back now.
What do you think about Summers in Kentucky? How old Wheeler Walker Jr.
Man, you know, the internet's broken.
I don't know. My Wi-Fi, I mean, you're coming through pretty clear. It was 720, 1080p. What are you doing today?
It's just broken.
How? What happened?
Just people get on there and make an ass of themselves. Just settle down, people. Okay? Settle down. Just settle the fuck down. I am so glad that I am not on social media at all. I'm so happy.
All right.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if you saw, but Pondwater Dave was with us earlier, and
Pondwater Dave.
I've actually been able to secure the secret undercover footage that we're not supposed to see of his youngin' or his grandson. Let's take a look.
Yo, get the fuck out of my way. Are you seriously eating banana chips and fucking drinking ketchup? Get the fuck out of here, dude. What you need to do, pick your lazy ass up, go to the store and get hot Cheetos and buy like 6 of these and just drink the fuck out of it. I drink like 5 of these and this is my last one because I'm it, and I'll eat these two. Watch. I'll eat this motherfucker in the damn second. Damn, that shit good. So you need to go to the fucking store and get them. Why? This fruit tastes gooder than a bitch. But how the fuck do I open it though? That's the problem. So, what you need to do is get a knife, and then cut that shit open. Once you do that, let's do a quick.
This gonna taste gooder than a bitch.
Yeah, you know, some parents allowed their kid to do that.
Yeah, it's Pawn
Let's-
Waters' grandson.
Yeah, let's hear it for parenting. Jesus Christ.
Not a big fan.
I'm really not a big fan of people making an ass of themselves online. I'm not.
Hey, let's just see what happens if we call the superstar line. I'm gonna call him right now. 1-900-737
For
WWF.
F.
All right, here we go. Let's see what happens.
Probably going to say tastes gooder than the bitch, Conrad.
Oh, didn't like it's going. Oh, it says call failed.
Yeah.
Much like Pondwater as a grandfather. Failed.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, I don't know if you saw, but John Cena's a bad guy. Did you hear about this?
I heard about that. Yeah.
He did a promo earlier this afternoon. They were in Brussels. So he explained his actions.
Okay.
And to say the least, it was not a Hulk Hogan heel speech.
Oh, okay.
It was, I've been bullied. You guys were mean to me. This has been a toxic relationship. I'm breaking up with you.
Oh, wow.
You guys have been mean.
Mean.
Mean people.
Yeah, I hate mean people, you know.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I hate mean people.
Yeah.
Mean people and people that abuse animals. I
Yeah.
hate them.
Yeah.
They die in hell.
Oh.
I'll see you in hell, piss on your head.
Oh.
Mhm.
Why are you pissing on people, Tony?
Just don't know. Just feel it. Kind of feeling it right now.
When was the last time you pissed on somebody?
Oh, I've never pissed on anybody.
You've never pissed on a human ever?
I pissed on my foot before by mistake.
You never pissed on your wife in the shower?
No, good God, no. You know what would happen if that would happen?
Short arm clothesline.
Yes. You're damn straight. That woman to kick my ass, even with a bad hip. Oh, man. Hey, we appreciate everybody being with us here tonight, as always.
Hell, fuck yeah.
Yeah, man. James O'Corai's here. James was in Fresno, by the way, and was front row ringside. I saw James there, and I think I don't know if James was overserved or not. A lot of times he is at a wrestling match, but you know what? That's part of having fun.
Means he's having fun. God damn it.
Yep. The great Jason Taylor was here. I don't see him. Coach Rosie's been here the whole line, but Coach Rosie is
Gooder than a bitch.
I think Coach Rosie's been overserved tonight. I'm just not so sure all the comments he's making. He's like trying to be an Adam Demuy of the West Coast.
Oh, that doesn't even sound good.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good. Yeah.
Hey, can I ask you a question? Where are you at on the SEC tournament? Did you see that Florida beat Tennessee and they are the SEC champions of basketball?
Did not see it, but I had a feeling that Florida was going to win it after they just who did they smoke? Alabama or Auburn in the semis or something like that?
Yeah, they beat
Yeah.
the shit out of Alabama.
All right. So there you go. I probably care a little bit less about SEC basketball than I do SEC football. And do you get into the tournament?
Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Really? Yeah.
You're not into it at all?
No. I've been going on ESPN the app. I think I've told you this before. And you go on ESPN the app, and they have a little video at the beginning, and they have the list of the headlines. And I've been going on there trying to count how many times there's been a fight in a basketball game. And it's growing each and every week. You do know that, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to ask you. I don't know if you've seen, but Georgia's in the tournament. Did you know that?
Georgia didn't make. They make the NIT.
No, they're in it. They're gonna get they're gonna get beat gooder than a bitch by Gonzaga, but they're in
Uh-huh.
it.
They really made the tournament.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Gonzaga beats them first round.
Weren't they out the first? They lost to like Oklahoma the first round of the
SEC, yeah,
and they made the tournament. Jeez.
yeah, they're a
Well,
9 seed.
well, you know what they were. They
20-12 was the record for them.
20-12.
Yeah,
They were ranked at one time like number 23 in the nation, so they did have a ranking during the year. But yeah, so there you go. So let's see what we got. Okay, here's there you go. We got a scuffle at Rudy
the
Gobert.
Nation of Domination.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert, Andrew Limhard ejected after a scuffle. How about
Uh-oh.
that? There's another one. Another fight. Okay.
You don't like fights
I just think there's too many of them
on Dynamite or Collision?
in basketball.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. You
Well, I
listening?
mean, I thought
Do
it
you
was.
do you listen to what I say, or are you just?
I thought they were fighting shows that you did commentary on. I'm sorry.
I do, but I like those fights.
What do you like about an AEW fight that you don't like in a basketball fight?
AEW is supposed to fight basketball. You're supposed to play basketball. That's what it is.
I don't think Lambeer would agree with that.
Yeah. No way. He was the Hall of Fame fighter, wasn't he?
Yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah.
Man, look at Farouk. Can you imagine like some of those lashes with that belt on Ahmed Johnson? I'm not for sure that there wasn't some ill intention. Right? I don't know. Oh yeah, he's taking care of him, but
Yeah, he's taking care of him right now.
I would not want to be pissed off. I don't want Ron Simmons to be pissed off.
No, I have a feeling Ron Simmons was kind of in the way of Vader when the bell rang. You just kind of like, okay, I'm going to take an ass kicking here.
Let's just live to tell the tale.
Live to tell the tale. Exactly. Yeah.
What do you think of this Nation of Domination presentation here, Tony?
I always liked it. I thought it was very, very cool.
Yeah, I think so too. It was
Yeah.
ahead of its time.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at Gerald Briscoe get in there. So get the fuck out of here. And we go to black.
I want to mention too that we are indeed doing this over on you can enjoy us on video over on YouTube. So if you haven't already, check us out on YouTube. We want you to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell. It's whwmonday.com. As we're seeing a pretty great tag team come to the ring here. This is Doug Furnace and Phil LaFawn. We know them as Furnace and LaFawn. And they're going to be taking on the British Bulldog and Owen Hart. I mean, you've got 4 super, super talented workers. I mean, this is probably like as close as we're going to get in 97 to a Hart Foundation versus the British Bulldogs match.
Right. Yeah, they're rolling into pre-tape. Doug Furnace was pretty cool, man. Is he still with us?
Nope, he did.
Damn.
He's dead too, and so's he.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, we got to get hot about it.
Yeah. Okay. And so are the lights on the interview. Oh,
Yeah.
they came back on. Okay.
Yeah, but these guys, they're not coming back. They're going to be dead.
It'll be something the Macho Man walk through there and say, I'm dead. I'm alive again. Oh, no, I'm dead.
I will never forget you doing that. That is top 10 Tony Schiavone moments on the podcast. I just don't think I'll ever forget it.
Oh, hey, Josh Henney says there's going to be a blizzard on Wednesday in Omaha.
Oh, fuck, man.
Thank you, Josh. I'm going to land in that shit Wednesday morning.
I'm meeting motherfuckers in Dallas who are flying from Omaha, and they ain't going to make it now.
Well, you know what? Hey, how was the storm? I know it hit Huntsville. The storm this past weekend.
It killed my entire family. Thanks for asking. No, we totally missed us, dude.
Yeah, I know.
For real, we got some rain and nothing happened. It went to Mississippi.
Yeah,
I do know that I think there were 3 deaths in Alabama. No kidding. I know Calera got it bad. Gordo got it bad. I don't even know where those places are on a map, but I know that there were some real tragic looking photos. And I know that Mississippi got it real bad. So did Missouri. It was no joke, man. I think at one point there were 66 this past weekend.
Yeah. There was a lot of tornadoes. There was, but the Atlanta, it's like, man, they try to just scare the shit out of you.
Oh, they did it here. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a guy who basically, a meteorologist, was basically like, hey, if you live in a mobile home, and there's nothing wrong with that, but if you live in a mobile home and you'd like to see Sunday, you need to leave now. And it was like, oh shit. And then of course it rained a little bit.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've even there was even a weatherman one time, and he's still a weatherman. He's been around a long time. I won't say his name, but he's in Atlanta, who said that we were going to have snow of biblical proportions. Now, I haven't read every chapter in the Bible, but I'm not so sure that snow was ever mentioned in the Bible.
Not once.
Not once. Okay. Biblical proportions, and he's still on TV. What the fuck? I guess do whatever it takes to get listeners or viewers. You know, I'm in that game too, right? So there you go.
Are you talking about Brad Nitz?
Not Brad Nitz, no. I know Brad.
I'm just
know
going to
Brad.
say it's Brad Nitz.
It's not Brad Nitz.
Well, you got to tell us who it is.
Glenn Burns.
There it is. Fuck you, Glenn Burns. You son of a bitch.
Biblical proportions.
There's no snow in the desert, you dumb shit.
Now, I do need to say that I'm driving between LA and Las Vegas,
And it starts snowing like a motherfucker.
and I'm driving through the Mojave Desert, right?
Yeah.
And I look up to the left, and there is Clark Mountain, and there was snow on top of that. It was amazing. What the amazing sights that you see driving. I really love to drive. I do. I love to drive, and I love to go through different parts of the country I've never been. I just feel so fortunate I'm able to do things like that. So,
You ever go see Efren when you're out in the desert?
who?
Efren?
No,
He's somewhere in the desert, I think.
really.
Yeah.
The Arizona desert, right?
Yeah, but it's all desert when you live in Alabama, you know?
I guess.
No, it's
Now,
kind of like you tell everybody you live in Atlanta, but you don't. You live in Marietta. You're just a fucking liar. you
I
know?
don't. I don't say I live in Atlanta. I say I live in Marietta.
Nah, I've heard you say Atlanta before. Just a liar.
Okay. Yeah. So let me take a look at the weather for Omaha.
It's gonna snow.
Yeah, Wednesday, 75% chance of rain.
Yep.
High 53. That's not snow.
What about Thursday?
Sunshine.
Oh, okay.
And see, so like on Saturday, I'm taking the red eye after the show, and I'm flying into Atlanta, and everybody's telling me, "Oh, I don't know if you're going to make it." No, we barely had turbulence. Landed. Okay, so what about this match?
I enjoy these four individual performers. I think they're great wrestlers, and I think you'll enjoy the match.
I'm enjoying it already.
You're going to see them work a body part, and I guess the criticism that I read online is that it was a paint by numbers match, but they get a little bit of time, 13 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's a lot better than the piece of shit you're about to see.
Oh, which is
14 minutes and 45 seconds. Triple H, before he was Triple H, back when he was known as Hunter Hearst Helmsley along with China, challenging Rocky Maivia for the Intercontinental title.
Oh, that should be good.
And then in your main event, it's going to be The Undertaker and the man they call Vader.
Wow. Hey, look forward to seeing China. What a wonderful young lady she was.
Big China fan, were you?
Oh, yeah. She was so nice. She was very, very nice. Nice person. She and I stayed in touch. We would text each other now and then. Obviously, but her death was a shock, but she was a very, very nice person.
How much time did you spend hanging out with her?
I spent a little time hanging out with her because if I remember correctly, she was there for the XWF.
Wow.
that's where I met her. Whether she worked at that time or not on our TV shows, I can't remember. But she was, and of course, her death's a tragedy, as we know. But she was a
No
very
doubt.
nice, yeah, she was a very nice person. How about that leg lariat?
I
Huh?
love it, dude. He
I love-
nailed it, doesn't he?
What?
You know what's crazy? Let's go through this lineup because there's so many people who are passed away.
Mhm.
But Flash Funk, he's still with us. The Sultan, he's still with us. The Iron Sheik is not. So
Okay.
sadly, one down. The Godwins and the New Blackjacks, all with us, all good.
Mhm.
Aldo Montoya and Crush. Crush no longer with us. Darn. Ahmed Johnson versus Savio Vega with the Nation.
Mhm.
Everybody's still with us. The British Bulldog. Yikes. Owen Hart. Nope. Doug Furness. Nope. Is Phil LaFawn? I think Phil LaFawn's still with us.
There's 5 right there.
Yeah, Phil's still with us.
Okay, there's 5.
And then next up, we are going to have Rocky Maivia. He's still with us. Triple H, he's still with us. China is not. That's 6.
Uh-huh.
Goldust and Marlena will be out next. Both still with us. Farouk will be here. The Nation will be here. And then in the casket match, it's The Undertaker versus Vader, who has Paul Bearer with him. So 2 more. So is that 8?
8, yeah.
Wow. So 8 guys, not counting. I think Howard Finkel is the ring announcer. He's no longer with us.
That's 9, yeah.
That'd be 9.
Wow. Yeah, time moves on, man, and that's one of the things that we were talking earlier about my trip to the Venetian to see Chicago. It was
Darren
wonderful.
Staley wants to know if all these guys got killed in the tornado.
Yeah, ha ha.
Boy, that is an excellent callback. Thank you.
Okay, I enjoyed Chicago, but there was a part of me that was very sad because I remember the members being very, very young, hip guys when I was growing up, and now, I mean, there was a picture of me standing next to Robert Lamb, one of the founding members, and one of the guys that wrote many or most of their hit songs. And he's 80 years old now. 80. So that kind of made me sad, made me realize how quickly things go by and how old I'm getting, how close I am to dying and things like that.
Boy, way to bring us all the fucking way down, man.
Well, I've got more years, behind me than I do ahead. I realize that. But don't mean to. And Coach Keith has arrived.
Well, I mean, I already wanted to kill myself, but now that Coach Keith is here. Hey, I don't know that you I guess we didn't talk last week, but I was on the weirdest phone call of all time last week.
Okay.
It was a conference call that we had to dial into.
Oh my God. Go ahead.
And we're going around and sort of introducing ourselves, explaining who we are.
Oh God.
On the call is myself.
Yeah.
What? And then it's John Filippelli, who started the Yes Network for the Yankees with George Steinbrenner 24 years ago.
Okay.
And then it's 16 times your world champion, the Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Oh Christ.
And Alex Rodriguez. Is that not one of the craziest phone calls of all time?
That's pretty freaking amazing.
Dude, it was like just surreal. I had 2 other conversations last week I couldn't believe, but with polarizing figures I won't mention. But I was like, why am I on this? What's happening with my life right now?
I met A-Rod back in the 90s, and I may have told this story before, but Conan, we were in Miami doing Nitro, and Conan said, "Hey, A-Rod's coming. I'm bringing A-Rod to the show." And I went, "Yeah, right." A-Rod was a big star back then.
Of course.
And then afterwards in the bar, he came up to me, shook my hand, told me how big of a fan he was, and we talked for quite a while.
How about that, dude?
And that's one of the great moments in my life, being able to talk to A-Rod. Yeah. Being able to say A-Rod knew who I was. That was a big fucking deal.
It's a huge fucking deal. Good for you.
Yeah.
It's got to be a boost to the ego.
Yeah, it is a boost to the ego, and it's makes you feel good about your life, even though you never know when you're going to die.
Oh man, is
Okay.
this a thing you're gonna do all the time? Like we got to get you out of this shit.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah. Did you know that Owen Hart's brother is the best there was, the best there is, the best there ever will be? Have you-
D'Lo told me that.
Okay. Yeah.
What about Brett's? I mean, what about Owen's other brothers? Can you name them all like they were
No, I
the
cannot.
reindeer or the dwarfs?
I cannot. I know that there was one that came to our show in Calgary, and he had been a trainer in the dungeon, I do believe. I don't remember his name. I know Alex Abrahantes, by the way, who trained in the dungeon, knew him.
Well, I think that there's Brett, Owen, Keith, Bruce. I think there's a Wayne and a Ross and a Dean, a Smith. There's a bunch of them shits. Just look it up on everybody's favorite Wikipedia. And the members of the Hart family are Stu Hart, Smith Hart, Bruce Hart, Keith Hart, Dean Hart, Bret Hart, Ross Hart, Diana Hart, Owen Hart, Teddy Hart, Natty Neidhart, Davy Boy Smith Jr., Mike Hart, Matt Hart.
Mm.
And who could forget Helen Hart, Martha Hart, BJ Annis, Davy Boy? I guess that's it.
Yeah. Bruce Hart is the one I believe that was a trainer in the dungeon. If I recall.
He's 75.
Wow. Time goes by, man. Heading to the grave.
Stu Hart lived to be 88 years old, by the way.
And that's pretty damn good.
That's a good run.
You damn right it is for someone who took bumps. Whew. This is
It's an entertaining match.
it really is. These four guys are, I mean, that gut wrench over the top suplex was like, wow.
They're not here to fuck around. Not on a house show in Minimus G.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Tony, how's the grandbabies doing?
They're great. They're great. Went to one of them's birthday recently, and Matt's two girls are great, and Laurie's two girls and boy. I'm God, I hate this term, but it's true. I am blessed.
You don't like the word blessed?
I think it's overused.
Some people who say they're blessed really aren't blessed.
No, it just you go, hey, how you doing? I'm blessed. Okay, I get it.
You don't want to hear that.
It's like I just wanted to hear how you're doing right now. I know you're blessed overall.
Yeah, they should tell you their problems, is what I think.
No, they should say, "How you doing? I'm doing okay. I'm doing well."
What if they're not doing okay?
Mind your
They
own
keep
business.
that to themselves, or yes. I was waiting on you to say that. Don't tell me that either. I don't want to hear it. It was a formality. I didn't really care. Just fucking say fine and move on.
Was there a damn foot on the ropes in that last one? And who we got in the back here?
That's Ken Shamrock, the world's most dangerous man.
And he is
ready to put a thumb in your ass.
Yeah. Darren Staley wants to know, how does Tony react when someone says, "Have a blessed day"? I'll say, "Thank you," and keep on moving.
Boy, you're just a bad ass, aren't you?
Yeah. How about Jim Cornette and JR doing the commentary?
One of the all-time best duos ever.
Yes, sir, man. Those two guys could talk and still can.
They know a thing or two about a thing or two.
Yeah, right. They sure do. Oh, there's we're going to go back to Doc Hendricks. Hey, you got a joint? No, the best there was, the best there is, the best there ever will be. Does that mean you're the marijuana is the best there was, the best there is, the best there ever will be? Huh? You know, you can get into just about every state now. Hey, did you know that? And pretty soon, once the politicians get a hold of it, they're not only going to get high, but they're going to have a lot of money in the coffers for that. Hey, look at China.
What a great look, dude.
She was a badass, wasn't she?
I'll be honest. I like this look for Triple H too. This blue blood gimmick, the Hunter thing. If he was doing this on the Indies today, not that he would need to, but
Yeah.
somebody could do that look on the Indies today.
Mm-hmm. Hey, so if you just joined us, I talked earlier about doing a live Zoom with anyone who wants to join me. So it's kind of a
Can we show Hog on the Zoom or no?
no, we're not going to show Hog on the Zoom.
I'm just asking. You got to get hot, Jesus.
Darren,
God.
Darren Staley wants to know: does Tony have a living will? Is he a lawyer?
We're wanting to know. We're planning to kill you,
Okay,
and
I do.
we're trying to get to your baseball card collection.
I do have a living will. Yes. And you open up my living will, and it goes, "Have a blessed day."
All right, boys and girls, that'll do it. Thanks for tuning in to a special edition of WHW.
Yeah. So what if we do? What if I do the Zoom on Thursday? How about that?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I like
Okay.
it. So this Thursday, join us, patreon.com/WHW Monday.
Yeah.
And we'll be going live with Tony Schiavone
Yeah.
while I am stuck in Dallas.
Yeah. Going to Dallas, huh?
Arlington.
Going to Arlington, huh?
Are you laughing at me?
Yes, I am.
Are you laughing at me for why I think you're laughing at me?
Yep. Okay, so
And how frustrated am I about to be?
okay, so listen, I want everybody who's on here, if you know somebody who is a Patreon member, let them know. One of the reasons two reasons I stopped it. Number one, because I started doing a show we were doing Fridays, I think, and I started doing a show on Saturdays, and it just got to be too much. The second one is that it got to be just the same people all the time, and we didn't pull anybody new in.
Yeah.
So tell your friends that are with us. Okay.
Tell them.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, now Bryant just said it gives him plenty of time to get home from Omaha and Dynamite to join. It sure does, Bryant. However, if there's a blizzard and I'm stuck in Omaha, we may have to postpone it. But I should make it. I take the first flight out. Anyway. So anyway, we're going to do it Thursday, this coming Thursday.
WHWMonday.com is where you can follow us on YouTube. But if you want to be a part of this special video live interactive experience with Tony, it's on our Patreon at patreon.com/WHW Monday. Go check it out. Be a part of the family. You'll be glad you did. And this is probably, I think you've seen Young Rock maybe one other time, maybe that Survivor Series show. Is this only the second time you've seen really young Rocky Maivia?
Exactly. The first time was the Survivor Series when it was his debut, right?
That's right. Yeah. And now he's the Intercontinental Champion. By the way, that was November of the prior year. We're just in March. So it was too much too soon. He's been the IC champ at this point for about a month. And fans are already turning against him. And this is when he starts to see the Rocky die. He's just the white meat baby face. There's no really depth to the character until he gets injured and comes back and turns heel. And then it's a whole new ball game. The other thing that was even interesting about him back then to me was he had these weird boots where like the calf was cut out at the top. What do you think of that look?
It's unique. I got to say that. Yeah. No one else was doing it that I can ever remember. I love how China just arms crossed, like, you want me out of the ring, Rocky, move me. Right.
I think after this match, and this one goes like 15 minutes, after this match, Sonny comes out. So anytime we get to see Sonny, that's a good day.
Absolutely. You know, the evolution of Rocky to The Rock is a story that all young wrestlers should take notice.
Yes, agree.
Because it's not always your work, but it's the way you can talk and bring in the people that gets you over. And of course, I guess you can say he's one of the greatest talkers of all time, right?
Well, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to give you some context to what's going on. in this era in pro wrestling, as we're talking about March of 1997. It's in the Observer in the
Oh.
AAA section when it's written, the war heated up once again with Antonio Pena filing lawsuits this past week against Conan, Rey Mysterio Jr., Psychosis, and Juventud Guerrera for breach of contract for leaving AAA for Promo Azteca and WCW.
Mm.
The lawsuit not only calls for dissolvement of the group's connection with Azteca, but also with WCW. When Pena made the deal with Vince McMahon, Eric Bischoff immediately put pressure on to make sure all the Mexican talent in WCW was signed to WCW contracts.
Mm.
WCW received a legal letter from AAA saying those contracts should be voided since most of the wrestlers who had signed them already had existing deals with AAA. The WWF may be involved in this, since one would figure if AAA were to win the suit and control the bookings of these wrestlers, they may be forced to work for WWF, although all of that happening seems at this point to be a remote possibility. The same group has countersued Pena, asking for back union dues that they were supposed to receive upon leaving the company, and for monies owed to them for appearing on television and merchandising that they've yet to receive. Pena had previously filed a suit against La Parca several weeks back, trying to keep Parca from using the name. There are several other lawsuits out there, but a lawsuit from a ways back involving former AAA minis should be coming to court in about 2 weeks, and a lot of people see the result of that suit as a barometer for future suits, in that whichever side wins will be favored in the future. Do you remember this whole AAA versus WCW thing being a thing?
Not at all. That must have. Well, again, back then I was not, and still am not, dirt sheet savvy,
Right?
and stuff like that would have only been in the dirt sheet. I don't think it would have been talked about backstage. And once again, as it's the same thing that goes on today, in that as an announcer, you kind of stay in your announcer place unless you want to walk around and go into the locker rooms. And I do go in the locker room and say hello to the guys every show. And go into the other locker rooms like Samoa Joe's locker room, the Elite's locker room, and say hello. But normally, you just kind of stay in your lane, and so I didn't remember any of that. Have you talked to Eric about that?
Yeah, a little bit.
What does he say about it?
That it was factual. He didn't feel like most of those contracts in Mexico were enforceable, or that they had been honored on both sides. He wasn't too terribly concerned about it, but once it became a legal issue, it wasn't something he messed with anybody anyway. Corporate did, and they made the determination as to whether or not they should continue or not, and that was kind of it. So I didn't get the vibe that he viewed it as all that big of a deal.
Okay.
Hey, I want to mention that in this same era, there's some crazy news in the Observer about ECW, and I think this report will make you laugh.
Okay.
There was another incident with New Jack backstage at the arena. New Jack was on the balcony with someone who was apparently either a promoter or booker for Soul City Wrestling, a local indie that uses mainly African American wrestlers.
Okay.
Next thing anyone knows, it appeared New Jack tried to throw the guy off the balcony. The guy escaped and ran down the stairs and tried to run away. New Jack did another balcony jump, this time one he wasn't getting paid for, and kind of bulldogged the guy and got 2 punches in before they got the guy away, and he began running for his life. Apparently, Sabu pretty much saved the guy's life as he helped him escape, while about 10 other wrestlers, seeing one of the wrestlers in a fight, were about to join in and kill the guy. Sabu's ankle and tailbone are said to be hurting from recent table spots. I don't know why, but that being a report about what's going down in ECW made me laugh. I mean, process this. It appeared New Jack tried to throw the guy off the balcony. What? By the way, I don't know if you heard, but according to the rumor and innuendo, Tony, the leader of WWE, Nick Khan, is a big New Jack fan, and he put New Jack in the new WWE video game. This is the first time ever New Jack has been in a WWE video game, I believe. Just the idea that New Jack is going to be in a WWE video game in 2025, and it may or may not have been Nick Khan's idea, is one of the craziest damn things I've ever heard of.
Well, it's a smart business decision because you don't have to pay him royalties, do you?
Well, you're still paying his family.
You should. You should. Let's hope.
Oh, I'm sure Nick Khan's looking to fucking squeeze New Jack's family for $1,500 or whatever it was.
It's probably more than $1,500. But
I'm sure it'll really affect the bottom line, though.
yeah, I know. You're right. I'm just trying to be irreverent.
I appreciate that. We should mention that this is the era where Bischoff and Hogan were at the Bulls Knicks game. It happened
Yeah.
on March 9th. And
Uh-huh.
there are two promos with Dennis Rodman, and Bischoff is visible behind the Knicks bench wearing an NWO t-shirt the whole time.
Hmm.
But the announcers never once bring up the Rodman deal. And there's even articles being written in the Chicago Sun-Times that's about what you'd expect. Not so positive on wrestling. But boy, it was I don't think people now can really understand and appreciate what a media sensation Rodman was in 97.
My God. He was bigger than life.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, he was at that time one of the most recognizable, not only sports figures, but celebrities in the world.
Yes.
And yeah, it was a couple of things, a number of things that Eric Bischoff did to me were amazing. One of them was Dennis Rodman. Okay. But the other thing is, and I'll go back and say this, when I think about big things happening to WCW, you're not going to get any bigger. I don't give a shit what you say, any bigger than Eric Bischoff taking over Jay Leno's show. You're not going to get any bigger than that. The fucking Tonight Show.
Yeah.
I think about back during the Kip Fry era, us trying to bring in one of the members of Alabama or Dave Casper, trying to get any rub from any celebrity at all that we could. And now, fast forward decades later, we're taking over the Tonight Show. It's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
And it'll always go down to me as one of the biggest deals we've ever had. So that just amazes me. We were doing really, really smart things under Bischoff. We really were.
Brian's with us here, and he says, who brought more eyes to WCW? Was it Jay Leno or Dennis Rodman?
Boy, I don't have an answer for that. One would think that it would have been because we had Rodman more than once. But one would think you can't get any bigger than the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
I would think it was, was Leno. Yeah.
James Elkerai is with us, and he's saying Leno was number one, and the Tonight Show brand is iconic.
Yeah.
That was big time stuff.
Absolutely.
No argument for me.
Yeah. And
Coach Keith is pointing out as we're talking about basketball players involved with pro wrestling, and we are watching a show from MSG. I don't know if you saw this, but it was posted on social media earlier tonight, Tony, that Vince McMahon is courtside at a Knicks game. When was the last time anybody saw him at a basketball game?
I don't think anyone has ever seen him at a basketball game.
Right?
I wonder what that's all about. For some reason. Okay.
Let me give you a spoiler.
Okay.
It was he was probably deer hunting.
Deer hunting.
He was making a woman happy.
Oh.
Just my speculation.
Okay.
You see a fella do something he don't normally do, and everybody's like, I wonder why he's doing that. I bet I could guess.
Okay. You always think when Vince McMahon does something out of the ordinary, there's some reason. In other words, not just enjoying a basketball game.
I think his girlfriend probably said, I want to go to a basketball game. And he said, okay.
Okay.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Would you be at all interested in going to a basketball game?
Me?
Yeah. I know you hate doing things.
No, I don't want to go to a basketball game. I can see fights on AEW. That's all they do now is fight. That's all. Then they get idiots that they're sitting right up against the court. And they get thrown out.
You could do that. What if you got thrown out? Hey, you know what you ought to do? You ought to get a hold of Coach Rosie.
Yeah.
And you ought to, the next time they have a betting line about a streaker, like at the Super Bowl one year,
Mm-hmm.
I saw a guy who heard that there was like 500 to 1 odds that there was a streaker. So
Yeah.
this fellow went and bet a bunch of money, and then he went and streaked himself.
Oh,
So he won the bet. And I thought, man, if anybody would be like, you know what? I might make me a few $1,000,000 just showing my hog on ABC and then go to the house. I can see Tony Schiavone going, it's not that bad a trade when you think
yeah.
about it.
Yeah, maybe before I die, which may be soon.
Oh,
Uh,
God. Why are you going full JR on us?
So, does JR do that? Talk about dying on his podcast?
No, but you know what he does talk about a lot?
What?
He talks about the movie that just came out, Queen of the Ring. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
I did too. I enjoyed the movie, but it's funny because we've been promoting it and talking about it for several months on JR's podcast. And, we'll play the trailer. We probably played the trailer 6 or 8 times getting ready for the premiere.
Yeah.
And whenever we finish, he always reminds us, now this is the story of Mildred Burke, who once upon a time was married to Billy Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
What everybody in wrestling knew about Billy Wolf, what he was known for,
Mm-hmm.
was that he had a great big dick on him.
Wow. Okay.
But it was so big that he couldn't get it hard all the way. So I'm not making
Well, just the bottom half got hard?
he couldn't get it all the way hard, Connie, you see. It
Okay.
was a great big dick, but he couldn't really use it because it wouldn't get hard, you see.
Yeah.
It's like God's cruel joke, Connie. So anyway, I heard that over and over and over on the pods. So I found myself, as we're nestled into our seats at the movie theater, when the Billy Wolf character comes on TV, I turn to my wife Megan and I say, now Megan, here's the thing about this guy. You have to understand, everybody said he had a great big old dick, but he couldn't get it all the way hard. I'm saying this in the theater. I think it's hilarious. I don't think everybody else who heard me thought it was that funny, but I thought this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I got to take this.
Mm.
We see a very young Goldust here, and there's Marlena. You knew her as Terry Boatwright
Yep.
or Alexandra York.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I guess her real name now is Terry Runnels still, right? I don't think she's gotten remarried.
No, but
Yep.
she too, I think, was a big New Jack fan. She had that in common with Nick Cohen.
Yes, that's right. She dated him for a while, I understand.
Yep, I think he jumped off the balcony on her, from what I've heard.
I'm sure he did.
I don't know if he would run to the bedroom with a trash can full of weapons or how that worked, but it does make me wonder, did he have gangster rap blaring the whole time when he was throwing down like he did when he was throwing down?
You never know what people are going to do in the privacy of their own home, Conrad. You just never know.
No, sometimes it might be a grocery cart full of double dongs. You don't know.
I'll never look at a grocery cart the same way again. Even though I don't know what it. Oh, here we go. Speaking of dongs. Boom, 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 boom.
Here comes Sonny wearing a customized hockey jersey for WrestleMania 13.
Bet you that jersey's not going to stay on.
I bet it does.
You do?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
It's probably fair. I guess she's just wearing it like a dress here.
Yeah. Another tragic story. Wow. One of the
Man, she could have been, I mean, she was such a big star. And she was really good on the mic. Like in an alternate universe, she'd still be a really, really big deal in pro wrestling right now.
Of course she would, yes. I guess she's still incarcerated, right?
Yeah. It's a sad deal too, because you're learning more about her mental health stuff and the way she struggled. And the more you hear about the context of her sad tale, the more you feel like, man,
Yeah. What
a missed opportunity.
You know, and I think I've brought this up before, and I'll just say this as easily as I can. AEW has done a lot to help wrestlers and performers and people in the office with their mental health. They have, and I think it's something that should have been done throughout the years, just like concussion protocol should have been done throughout the years. And I'm just glad that now we're We're realizing that, concussion's no joke and mental health is no joke.
No.
Yeah.
So she's introducing the next match here. We see the Nation of Domination coming out to the ring.
Once
It's
again,
because Farouk is going to be wrestling Goldust. So even though Goldust was just out there, he's going to come right back.
uh-huh.
That feels like some weird pacing, don't you think?
Yeah. And I'm surprised that Sonny still has the shirt on. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, you just really wanted to sort of slut shame her, and I'm glad that she showed.
I did not want to. I
You
did
didn't
not
want to what now?
slut shame her. I did
Wow,
not.
listen to the mouth on you.
I did not want to slut shame her. You stupid son of a bitch. How does that sound?
God damn! Why are you
Okay.
getting so hot? What did I
Okay.
do?
Yeah. You
Have
just.
you always been this way,
Yes.
man? Kind of hurtful.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah, it hurt my feelings a little.
Oh, really?
I mean, you called me a stupid son of a bitch. That was uncalled for.
Ric Flair is your father-in-law, and I've hurt your feelings. Jesus.
I mean, how active of a role do you think we have in each other's lives?
I don't know, but just the fact that you have a wonderful wife, you really do. But sometimes you got to look up in this and think, Ric Flair, I'm in that family. Yikes.
I'm not in his family.
Okay, yeah, well, he's in yours.
She's in mine.
Good.
He's not really in mine.
Yeah. Well, Goldust and Marlena. Dustin's still performing well. Isn't
Dude,
that
he
something?
looks like $1 million. I mean, that
Something.
dude's found the fucking fountain of youth for real.
Yeah. And he just he had as we've mentioned before, he has dogs. He recently had one of his dogs pass away, a lab, and that was tough for him. And they're showing what happened a few moments ago, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. There you go.
A little replay, Jones.
Mm-hmm. And let's give Dustin credit. He took that gold dust thing and made it work.
No doubt he did.
Yeah. Going to light the cigar for her to smoke.
It's such a simple thing, but man, it really stood out back then, didn't it? A lady smoking a cigar.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't feel like it's all that innovative of an idea, but that's
Yeah.
so cool.
And of course, there's part of me that wants to say it's once again Vince shitting on the Rhodes family.
Wow, her smoking a cigar?
No, Dustin being gold dust.
Okay.
Even Cody at one time being Stardust, right?
Yep.
And Dusty wearing polka dots. It was Vince's way of just shitting on the entire Rhodes family. But again, in Dusty's credit, he made the polka dots work. And in Dustin's credit, he made Goldust work. And to Cody's credit, he hung in there, and now he's the biggest star in wrestling. So
it's a crazy story, isn't it, dude?
It really is.
I mean, when wrestling's good, there's just nothing like it.
Nothing like it. Yeah. That's why.
By the way, Coach Keith is with us, and he says a woman smoking a cigar is one of the sexiest things in the world.
Really?
I think he's thinking about, stick in the mouth, Jones.
Wow. You always bring it back to the lowest common denominator, don't you?
Well, hang on. Why does he think it's hot? The smoke rings?
Probably so.
Well, how many rings could she make?
You know what I've often heard about Terry Reynolds smoking a cigar?
What's that?
That she was the best there was, the best there is, and best there ever will be smoking a cigar.
Nobody smoked that cigar like her.
Uh,
Would you take Terry Boatwright to go see Chicago?
No, I'd go to see Chicago by myself.
What if she was there? Would you sit by her?
Yeah. We were always friendly. I always liked Terry.
So you like her enough to sit by her, just not enough to invite her?
Yeah. Why would a married man invite another woman to a concert?
I don't know. Didn't a woman
Well,
invite a married man to come backstage at the concert, and nobody batted an eye?
she wasn't there.
Oh, okay. Well, you ain't got to get hot about it.
I'm getting hot about it because you're trying to infer some shit that didn't
I'm
happen.
not inferring anything.
No,
You said
you.
I'm a married man, and I'm like, wait a minute. You're married, and you went with a woman.
Meanwhile, Dustin
Tearing
Goldust
tearing
is
it up.
just covering Farouk.
What do you think of Joey Styles, the way he would just yell, cover? Like
I
whenever
like
he was doing commentary. I know that some people online would be critical of that. They always made a big deal of it. I never really understood why it was a big deal. I thought it was fine.
It's fine. Joey was one of the best announcers ever. You know. We showed the picture earlier of me with Mauro Ronaldo.
Oh, yeah.
Mauro's a great announcer, man. I told him when he and I were together at Magic Castle, I say, Mauro, I said, I was at ringside when Kenny Omega faced, I can't remember his name, for the Impact World title. And
Christian.
not Christian. No.
It was Christian.
No, it was not.
Okay.
Anyway, and when Kenny won the match, Mauro said, and I think it's one of the great lines.
Oh, Rich Swann.
Rich Swann, exactly. Mauro said, you can't spell Omega without OMG.
Oh, wow.
What a fucking line. And I told him, I said, that's one of the great wrestling announcer lines ever.
It is. Wow. That is a great line.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. He's so much better at this than you. God damn.
No doubt about that.
Hey, shout out to Scott D'Amore and Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. They just had a fantastic show over the weekend, and Mauro is the voice of that show.
Yep.
I'm so happy to hear that. After TNA and after NXT, we've all seen his classic MMA and boxing stuff. I'm pumped that he's with Scott D'Amore doing his thing in Canada.
Yep, and he's a Canadian from the Vancouver area, and just really, and he and I've stayed in touch with each other since that time. So I have a lot of respect for Mauro Ronaldo. I really
If he
do.
got married, would you go to his wedding?
If it didn't
affect Georgia football,
it didn't affect Georgia football. Oh, I don't do Georgia football anymore. So yes, I guess I may have, if it's on a Saturday, I may have a collision live. So you never know.
He'll get married on a Thursday afternoon just to make it work for you.
Yeah, why not? I mean, most of my friends would do something like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't their wedding be all about you? I get it.
I get
That's
it.
what I always say.
Because as a wedding guest, I'm the best there was, the best there is, the best there ever will be.
Just like my friends over at Envision Marketing, I'm a big believer in these guys. Go check them out if you haven't already. I'm talking to you if you're a small business owner. You probably know that you need to grow your business and you need to do more online, but maybe you don't know where to start. Well, why not take what they know and put it with who I know? I know Eric Nichols. He's my specialist. He's my go-to at Envision Marketing Consultants. And I have to admit, when I first started buying media to promote my mortgage company like 15 years ago, man, I did pretty well with radio and TV, but I knew that I was missing any form of online advertising. So I did what I thought I was supposed to do. I called my radio and TV reps, and sure enough, they said they could help me. Well, they placed the order, they took my money, and that was it. I got no return, but I had no idea what the hell was even going on until I found Eric Nichols. With his help, my leads went up, my understanding of what I was buying went up, and my overall understanding of the space went up. I'm a big believer in this. And if you're a small time business owner, I encourage you to check this out because first off, it costs you absolutely nothing. So just let Eric's team take a look at what your company is doing in their digital marketing. We're talking SEO, pay-per-click, targeted display, streaming video on Hulu, YouTube, even Amazon ads. If your company is doing any of that or they want to, go right now to conradsguy.com and let my buddy Eric take a look. These guys have decades of experience. But more importantly, I trust that they're staying on top of the technology and optimizing my campaigns. We've all heard the word, the algorithm. Well, man, I got to run a business. I can't keep up with what's changing every single day. That's all they do, though. And they can help you if you're B2B or retail or food and beverage or manufacturing or nonprofits. Help. They helped me with mortgages. So check out Envision Marketing. See if they can improve your results and save you some money, or like me, do both at conradsguy.com. That's Envision Marketing Consultants, where smart but simple marketing drives results at conradsguy.com. Nice little finish there. And now it's time for our main event. But before we get there, we've got another in-ring interview talking about Psycho Sid. He's hyping up a title match against Bret Hart on Monday Night Raw. And of course, the WWF Championship match against The Undertaker. That's going to happen at WrestleMania if he is to retain the title. And we know the match that Sid is going to be promoting here is the one where Bret Hart flips out and pushes down Vince McMahon and says, "Frustrated isn't the goddamn word for it." And went on a tirade about this is bullshit, and everyone in the locker room knows it's bullshit. I've been screwed. And Steve Austin comes on the big screen and says something like, "If you'd been screwed as many times as you said, we'd have struck oil by now," which I thought was a great line.
Yeah.
And that's really the beginning of the Attitude Era, in my opinion, is that promo, which comes up the following Monday. But here's Sid with all the aura that we saw at the championship match where he won this title back in November at Survivor Series. He's back in Madison Square Garden here. And what a performance that was that night against Shawn Michaels. We've watched that one back. I still think it's probably my favorite Sid match. Now he's back doing a promo in the same building. What a presence he has. And I like the way they programmed this to feel like a TV show. We didn't see Bret wrestle, but we saw Bret do a promo. We're not seeing Sid wrestle, but we're seeing Sid do a promo. They're certainly telling stories here, even on a house show, Tony.
Yeah, and if you're keeping count, and we are, that's 10 people no longer with us on this show. Well, 11. We counted.
Shit, fire.
Yeah. Another tragedy. And again, it's his best match with Shawn Michaels. Who would have figured, right?
Right.
Yeah. We'll let everybody. Make everybody look good. I wonder if Doc Hendrick asked him about it. They grow weed in Arkansas.
You know they do.
Yeah, you know.
Tony, if you were going to be a marijuana user, not that you are, but if
I'm
you were
not.
going to be a marijuana user,
Right.
do you think you would do chocolates or gummies or suckers
Yes.
or drops,
Yes.
or powders, or would you roll it up? Would
Nope.
you have a doobie? Would you
Nope.
smoke a blunt?
Nope.
Would you use a bong? Would
Nope.
you use a gravity bong?
Mm.
Would you use a peace pipe? Would you?
What the fuck's a gravity bong?
I don't know, but I heard someone say it once and it sounded interesting.
Yeah.
Would you do dabs? I mean, how do you think you would do your drugs if you were a big time drug user? Big time drug user.
So in college, I have smoked it before in college.
Really?
But I very, very rarely. And there's no way I would smoke it today. And there's no way I would smoke anything on a regular basis. Why? If you can get high on gummies or chocolates, or hell, they got them in brownies, they got them in Rice Krispies.
Wow.
They got them everywhere now. Why would you blow smoke into your fucking lungs? Your lungs are very, very, they're very fragile. They really, really are. And as an announcer, no, I'm not going to. The lungs pump the air to the voice, and there's just no way. And I just don't get it. I don't get. If you want to get high, and I understand that it takes a little bit longer to get high if you're eating the gummies, but I just don't get it. I never will get it. Never will get blowing smoke in your lungs. So anyway,
people telling us they've smoked marijuana out of an apple.
Well, there you go. You know what? Coach Rosie is the one that said that, and Coach Rosie's been completely fucked up all night anyway. So
I don't think he's as fucked up as Tracy Morgan was. Apparently, he threw up all over the court at the Knicks game.
Seriously.
Yeah, just vomited all over the court at the Knicks game.
Well, they're going to have that as a ESPN highlight next to the fighting.
Oh, TMZ and Barstool, the New York Post and Sports Illustrated, they're all over it.
Yeah.
He had to leave in a wheelchair.
Wow. There you go. Must have smoked.
Man, what a great shot shooting the Undertaker from underneath like that.
Yeah. That is, man. They always did a great job. That's how they always shot, or they shot most of the time, Andre coming to the ring. They would shoot that low angle, make him look even bigger than he was.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, I saw someone tweet me earlier today saying that they got a phone call on their cell phone today, and it said the caller was from Craigsville, West Virginia.
Mm.
And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it is.
You know, I heard something recently that Craigsville sucks so bad
Mm-hmm.
that when birds get to the city limit, they fly upside down because there's nothing worth shitting on in Craigsville.
That's a good one. You know, they built
JBL seen that last week and it got all over me.
the Craigsville, Virginia, where I'm from. There is a Craigsville, West Virginia, but Craigsville, Virginia, where I was from, they just closed the prison, and they had a prison there for many, many years. The old joke was they're not going to build a prison in Craigsville. They're just going to put a fence around the town because it is. If you've ever been to Craigsville, Virginia, it's a rough, rough place. At least it was at one time.
Let's tell you some other news and notes from 1997 here as we see The Undertaker making his way to the ring to take on Big Van Vader in a casket match.
Rest in peace.
Are you saying that for The Undertaker or Leon White?
No, I'm just saying for the Undertaker, rest in peace. And then the Macho Man walks by and says, "I'm dead."
Do you do you think when if Vader were here and he took a blue chew,
Yeah.
do you think when he was ready to Vader bomb,
Yeah.
that he would yell, "It's time. It's time"? Or do you think he might do that when he was waiting to do number 2? So he's like watching TV with his wife and he stands up out of his easy chair and she says, "Where are you going? Do you need anything?" "No." Where are you going?" "It's time. It's time."
Probably both, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, give us some notes from this era.
Jake Roberts was fired 2 weeks back. He took a rental car while on the Texas Louisiana tour and disappeared for 2 days, including missing a shunt. It was just a few weeks back when he was fired, but then rehired the next day for something similar. I guess his 9 lives were up this time. He's been working in the office, helping write television, besides working as an occasional in-ring performer when needed. It's a shame. You know, he's back and forth.
Yeah. What else?
Mankind had an MRI done this past week on his bad back. We've heard 2 reports. One that he had a herniated disc in his back and it's rather serious. The other from the WWF is that it was a sciatic nerve problem. He doesn't need surgery and has 2 weeks off between Mania and the South Africa tour. And they're hopeful the rest will ease the problem. But if not, he'll take time off after the South Africa tour.
Oh, okay. Man, the bumps he took in his life. Jeez.
Can you imagine how, I mean, his x-rays have got to be a mess.
Yeah. And if you see him and limping around and trying to get around, and I haven't seen him in quite a while. He may be getting better. I don't know, but no one's surprised. Yeah, it's like if James L. Corey said, "Body injuries color me surprised." Absolutely. I'm interested to see how this match develops with Undertaker and Vader, because not many people have Vader wrestled that's bigger than he is, taller than he is, So that had to be very interesting. Especially, can you get Vader in the casket? Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I mean, they got Yoko in that motherfucker.
Well, now he just bounced over top of it.
Oh yeah. You're just barely ahead of me.
Yeah.
By the way, he's not nearly as heavy as people made him out to be in this era.
What, Vader?
Yeah, he looks good right here.
Yeah, I agree.
By the way, it's also in the newsletters around this time. The August Clash of Champions has officially been canceled because by that time, TBS will be running a 2-hour weekly live show, which is almost a sure thing now on Thursday nights. Heads up against Seinfeld and Friends, which is a lot harder competition than Raw. Man, with the benefit of hindsight, Thursday night was tough. I mean, that NBC lineup on Thursday nights in this era was legendary. I mean, at one time you had Seinfeld, Friends, and ER all in the same block.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I remember we were in the Seinfeld finale.
Yep.
We were in New Hampshire, and I remember that's all anyone was talking about backstage. And that earlier that day was the Seinfeld finale. I'm thinking, if that's all anybody here is talking about, I just wonder if anybody's going to watch our show. And of course, the finale was panned, as we know. Did you ever see Clear History?
No, let me look that up.
You need to watch it. It's on Max. It is Larry David playing Larry David, but the Larry David character, but not named Larry David.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it is great. It's got the band Chicago in it. That's why.
Oh, so you jack off to that. We know.
No, I wouldn't jack off to it, but I thought it was very good.
When was the last time you cut hand, Tony?
I don't know, Conrad. It's been a long, long time.
Oh, I fired him off
How
this morning.
You fired him off this morning.
Yeah.
God,
I'll probably get another batch out tomorrow.
Jesus.
You know, we're recording late night, man. My wife gets up at 4 to go to the gym. It's going to be midnight when we finish.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If you got them, don't want to save them.
No.
Yeah.
I can't get interest on them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to reinvest them.
Ooh, that at first looked pretty good. That power slam off the top, but
Oh, wow. Yeah.
it kind of stumbled through that.
He turned him.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, we're up against Uncensored here. It went down on the 23rd. There were 9,295 fans there. 7,640 of them paid $101,184 in North Charleston, South Carolina. 360 tickets short of a sellout. It's written here, by the way. You'll like this. If I was as incompetent as my job as Dusty Rhodes is this, how long would I last? Rhodes, whose announcing has gotten progressively worse, if that's even possible, was well past the point of unbearable. He ruins it completely for Tony Schiavone, who really appears to be trying to catch up in a rapidly changing world that Rhodes wants to single-handedly drag back to 1975. The fact that Bobby Heenan has been living off his name and reputation for the past year only makes things worse for Schiavone, having to carry 600 plus pounds of dead weight through endless hours of television every month. And people wonder why he has a bad neck. Not that he was perfect, as he kept speculating about who WCW would get to replace Rick Steiner when there was nobody. It only left the audience with an empty feeling as the main event even started thinking WCW was a bunch of wimpy putzes once again. And don't even get me started on Mike Tenay or Scott Steiner or Rey Mysterio Jr. So either way, how about that?
Wow.
Dave Meltzer was defending you.
How about that? That's an unusual thing.
Right?
And, he's, from what I understand, he's kind of been defending me at times here in the era. Oh, look at Mankind.
Yeah, dude, we got Mankind jumping right out of the casket, and him and the Undertaker are going at it. Of course, they had maybe one of the feuds of the year for 1996. We saw the, obviously we saw the Boiler Room Brawl where Paul Heyman turned, and we also saw Buried Alive.
Right.
But we even had just a regular match at King of the Ring, and that was kind of a big deal because he debuted, in 1996, the night after WrestleMania. So at this point, he's been in the company for less than a year, but he worked with Undertaker at King of the Ring and at SummerSlam and Buried Alive, and then again in Survivor Series, where the Undertaker sort of floated down from the ceiling with this new look that he's sporting. And that's how we're going to finish the show. Mike Chioda, Mr. Hebner are going to push the casket with Mankind to the back, and that'll bring our house show to a close. I love watching 1997 WWF, and it's kind of fun watching the old MSG feed, is it not?
Yeah, I like it. I like the darkened arena look.
Yes.
Old school MSG. Yeah. We weren't able to hear it because of
WWE being Cox.
Yes. But I'm sure that JR and Cornette tore it up. I'm sure they did.
And we appreciate you guys being here when we tore it up. And we hope you'll join us next week because we're going to have a lot of fun on the program. We always do. That's what this show is all about, is getting together and watching old wrestling with your friends. We'll be doing it next week with an old school show from Madison Square Garden back in 1980, Tony.
Whoa.
March 24th, 1980. That's what's on the docket. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Make plans to join us. And don't forget, this Thursday, Tony's going to be live and interacting with you live on Patreon. It's patreon.com/WHW Monday. But Tony, right now, it looks like it's about that time.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the ring is Conrad Thompson. And yes, he has what looks to be a hard-on. And hopefully he'll get that done a little bit later on tonight. Because as we know, as a scuzzball, he's the best there was, the best there is, the best there ever will be. And so are we, because we are desperately out of time. Each and every Wednesday we come to you on
Patreon, patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. adfreeshows.com.